All right, everyone. Good evening. How are you doing this evening? Hope you guys are actually excited to start the new class. We have the Pilot One with Investing 101. You guys have your cameras on. Let me see your faces. How are you guys feeling this evening? Drop in the chat how you're feeling. You're getting ready for Investing 101. All right, we have good, we got very good, pretty excited. All right. Well, we have Coach TJ, my better other half, who is actually going to be with us, actually conducting an investing 101. You guys stay attentive, ask questions. Let's be interactive and let's start learning about investing 101. Coach TJ, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am, I is.
All right. Go ahead and you have the floor.
What's up, good people? How y'all doing? Hey, I'm glad to be here tonight and try to keep y'all awake for a few minutes. As Miss C said, I am Coach TJ. She is my better half. I'm the mouthpiece. No, she's the vision of this family. So I'm happy to be here. Well, Miss Rosie asked me to do this class. No, I immediately said yes. No, I am humbled and honored to be here to share this information with you. I hope I can give you guys something and girls something to help you advance your financial futures. Right now, who's the youngest? Who would that be? You can unmute and just talk to me. I like the people that talk. You don't have to raise your hands. You can unmute and talk. So who's the youngest?
I
Somebody got
don't.
to be.
I'm sorry. I don't really know who is because like we never kind of like we did like a little introduction, but we didn't like
Okay,
do.
we're gonna do some introductions tonight. How old are you?
16. I just turned 16.
Okay, anybody younger than 16?
I'm 15.
Okay, you're 15. Anybody younger than 15? Good. All right. So what I'm gonna tell you guys and girls tonight, and you probably heard this before, there's no such thing as guarantees in the world, correct? But I'm gonna guarantee you, if you follow the principles and you stay consistent and deliberate on the information I'm going to give you tonight, by the time that I would say 10 years from now, you all can be millionaires. How's that sound? I see Michael smiling. He's shaking his head. Here's the thing. I'm not an expert on this information I'm going to give you. No, I really just started learning investing myself about 3 years ago. I'm 51 years old. I come from a working class background with my family. They all had no regular jobs. My mom was an entrepreneur. She had her own daycare center, and she was the first six-figure earner in our family. But what she did not know is how to invest. And that's what's really hurting a lot of young people and older people today because a lot of people make money. The thing about it is, it's not about how much you make, but how much you keep. That makes sense? Cool. So let's start off with the presentation, see if I can share my screen, see how we make this work. And if you have any questions throughout this presentation, hey, just jump in and ask. Miss C, are you seeing the screen, ma'am?
Yes,
All right, so you see the presentation up?
correct.
Cool, cool. Well, as I said, hey, welcome to Advanced Investing. Well, Advanced is you guys' class, but it's Investing 101. 101 is basically the ground rules. This is the ground floor in investing. Like I said, this is not going to be a high level class. This is just the stuff to get you all started. As Miss C said, I am Coach TJ. I am a 24-year Air Force veteran. That's why when Ms. Rosie asked me to do this course, I did not hesitate whatsoever. We have a saying called wingman in the Air Force that we're basically brothers and sisters from different mothers and fathers. We're here to help each other out no matter what it is. I did 24 years in the Air Force. I've been to 11 different countries. I've been to 7 different states. I've made a lot of money. But what I did not know is how to invest the money that I made. So when I got out of the Air Force, I had to go back and get another job. 99% of people that retire from the military go back and get a job. Reason why is they didn't know how to invest the money they made in the military. We don't get rich in the military. No, we don't make a lot of money. We make a lot of sacrifices. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No, we very underpaid for what we do. But as I said before, if you learn how to invest the money you make, no matter where you're at, and I'm going to show you one of my mentors at the end of this presentation that actually did that. He was a Chicago police officer, and he became a millionaire while being a police officer. I'm a country boy by trade. I'm from a small town called Franklin, Virginia. No, I love outdoors. No, I love to hunt, fish, ride four-wheelers. That's what I love to do. Right now, I'm a full-time sports official. I do basketball and football for high school. And me and Miss C are full-time entrepreneurs. I am now officially retired from a 9-to-5 job because of learning how to invest over the last 3 to 4 years. So this is I want to share with you guys, and hopefully you take this information. Now, one of my favorite Bible verses. I'm not going to preach to you. I'm not going to push religion on you, but I will tell you this. The Bible is not about religion, and a lot of people don't understand what that means. The Bible is a book of principles that if you learn and live by these principles, your life is almost guaranteed to be okay and you'll be successful. A lot of people like to push religion. I'm not a religion pusher, but we do live by the principles of this Bible. And from my mentors, and I'm going to show you later on, that's how I learned these concepts. But this is my favorite Bible verse. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. With all that said, this right here is the biggest thing you can take away. A millionaire mindset. Everything you do in life starts with a mindset. If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're absolutely right. Always remember that. Here's a proprietary statement. Basically, nobody can use this information without the permission of Miss Rosie and the S.O.A.R executives. So let's get started. Introduction to Investing 101. Now, if I talk fast, that's nature. Hey, raise your hand or just say, hey, slow down, or can you repeat that? Objectives, we're going to try to go over different forms of investments, high risk and low risk, the benefits of each. We're going to talk about short-term and long-term, the benefits of those. Again, this is some basic concepts of my favorite thing I love to do is real estate. All right, so here we go. What is an investment? So who can tell me what an investment is in their own words? I know somebody knows.
When you set aside some of your savings for it to grow, like some passive income, whether it's like a Roth IRA or like a CD or putting it in the stock market.
Good job. Good job. Anybody else? Anybody got a definition what they think it is? Yes, ma'am.
I was gonna say the same thing he said, just like putting in like money somewhere that just like later on expands, like grows bigger in the future.
Exactly. Definition from the Google. An investment is an asset acquired to generate income and appreciate in value. What is the most important word in that definition? Anybody know?
Value.
Income. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Value. What else?
I said
Appreciate.
income.
Yep. Here's the most important word, asset. You guys ever heard asset versus liability? You know what a liability is? Anybody not know what a liability is?
Mm.
Good. Well, assets are great. Liabilities are not so great. You always want more assets than you want liabilities. So the goal, as you guys said, put away money to make money grow. Exactly. So provide financial growth, security over time. Notice it did not say get rich quick. As you get older, you start investing, you start getting money, you're going to hear people talk about different scams, pyramid schemes, get rich quick schemes. If it sounds too good to be true in investing, it probably is. So be very careful. That's one thing I will tell you. Be very careful when you get people come up to you say, hey, now we can make this kind of money. If we do this, we can do that. What I always tell people is if somebody come up to you and they got a investment they want you to invest in, Do a lot of research, ask a lot of questions. Ask that person how long have they been doing it. If that person tell you they've been doing it for X amount of years, see what they've gotten from it. If they haven't made money off of it, but they want you to take all your money and put into it, it may be a little fishy. Forms of investments. Michael said CDs. I heard. What else you guys think a form of investment is besides a CD? What else do you think an investment is?
A stock.
Yep, exactly. Stock. What else?
Bonds.
Yep, good. Hey, you guys, we can stop now. You guys already know what investing is. Stocks, bonds, real estate, and personal skills. Now, to me, I know what the most important part of that forms of investment is. What do you think the most important is in those forms of investing?
Personal skill development.
Exactly, personal skills. Because if you're not developing your personal skills by getting more knowledge in the investments you're getting into or the different opportunities, then you're really honestly wasting your time. Now, you could take two people, both of those people make $100,000 a year. One of those people, all they do is sit at home, watch TV, lounge around, don't read, don't educate themselves. That 100,000 is not going to go very far. But if you take another person and they take that 100,000 and they go research, hey, what can I do with this 100,000? Where can I put it? How can I make it grow? They're going to get more money. So we talked about the types. You guys mentioned a lot of good ones. Good job. So we talk about stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. Does anybody know what the difference in a stock and a bond is? I see you thinking, Michael. Yes, ma'am.
Isn't stocks in like companies, like you're trying to get shares in companies, but like bonds is with government, so you're taking like parts of like public government stuff? If I'm not-
Very, very good. So I'm gonna stop right now and let you teach the rest of this course because it seems like you know it already. Good job. Stocks are ownership shares in companies. So basically, whatever companies out there, anybody know a company you can buy stock in? Yep, you know one. Go ahead, Michael.
I mean, like anything, like Google, Apple, Hess. I mean,
Exactly. Good job. Good job. Yep. Stocks are small ownership in companies. Basically, you buy a stock in a company, you are a partial owner in that company. Now, you can't make the big board decisions like, hey, what to do, no, in that company, but you are a small owner. So here's a nugget. I see you guys taking notes. When you look down, here's a nugget for you. If you have a favorite thing, such as shoes, clothes, anything, it is very beneficial if you buy stock in that company if that company is growing. Anybody know why? Signa, I see you thinking. Reason is I'll give you the cheat code. If you're spending your money, if you guys are working or if your parents are working and you're spending your money in that company, why not have a share of that company and make the money that you're spending grow? Because the money you're spending, like Nike, think about Nike. Nike's one of the biggest shoe companies in the world. The money people pay for Nikes, that money goes into the company. That company invests and make more money. So if you're spending your money with Nike, why not have shares of Nike that you can grow your own money? That makes sense? Does anybody not understand that? Cool, cool. Bonds. Bonds are basically loans to the government. A bond, when a company or corporation is trying to invest in other things, they need to raise capital, which is money. They may issue a bond. So what they would do is say, okay, hey, here's a $20 bond. If you give me $20, I'll give you $40 back in 6 months. So you buy that bond, you hold that bond for 6 months. Once you cash it in, you double your money. So basically, you're loaning that company money for a specific period of time for a fixed rate that they're going to give you money back. That makes sense? A lot of savings bonds back when I was growing up, when I was you guys' ages, my grandmothers and aunts, they used to give us savings bonds. They would get $100 savings bonds, like, here for Christmas, they'll give you $100 savings bonds that are good for like 12 months, and you cash it in, you make $150. That was one of the big investments that I had growing up. Now, mutual funds are basically a portfolio of all of that together. Stocks, bonds, other type of investments that a company will put all of that into one package, and they will sell it as a mutual fund. Now, the good thing about that is you have so many different types of other investments all into one. So one investment may gain a lot of money, one may not do anything, or one may go a little bit lower, but it all balances each other out. Good. So that makes sense. Everybody good? Now, these three types of investments is my favorite ones right here: life insurance, real estate, and yourself. Going to touch a little bit on life insurance. Real estate is my baby. That's what I am actually in. I'm a real estate investor. And yourself, as you said before, that personal skills. High risk versus low risk. Basically, it means what it says. If you look at the picture, it's basically a balancing act. For high risk, the more risk you take, the potential for a bigger return, but also it's potential for a biggest loss. High risk are very volatile. Anybody know what the word volatility means in investing? What does it mean, ma'am? Signa. Yep, I'm gonna pick on you now because you seem like you're my co-host tonight.
Um, Volatility is like, I think like the stocks that are like, or like whatever investment is like most likely to like have the most losses or like not gonna like give you the most return.
Well, it can go either way. You're right. It can go either way. It can go up quick, but it can also go down quick. Now, have you ever heard the term day traders? Anybody ever heard that term, day traders? Well, day trader is a person that buys and sells stocks daily. That's their job. They get up at 4 o'clock in the morning or wherever they're located. So when the stock market opens, they're in front of their computer and they look at the stock market all day. Now, for that person, volatility is not bad because they're watching it so closely. If it goes up, 50%, they can sell or buy. But if it goes down, they can get out of that trade. Now, if you're the kind of person that puts money somewhere and you don't want to watch it at all, then high risk stocks are really not good because you can lose a lot of money quick. Have you guys heard of cryptocurrencies yet? No, Bitcoin, Chiba, Dodge. Yes, ma'am. Miss Aurora, is that how you say it?
Aurora. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I'm not like super familiar with them. Like I haven't like done them or anything, but I've heard of them and I watched like a short video on them because my friend invested on them, I think. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Cryptocurrency is probably going to be the new thing in you guys' generation. They really started, it's been around for a while. Cryptocurrency really started on the black market. You guys know what the black market is? That's where cryptocurrency really started for people that didn't want the government to be able to trace their transactions. No, we could buy goods and services and not so legal stuff from each other, and we could do it on the black market and exchange money because cryptocurrency is digital. It's not being traced. It's on what's called a blockchain. Penny stocks. Now, I dabble in penny stocks every once in a while. Penny stocks are any stock you can buy under $5. $5 is dollars, but they call it penny stocks because to a lot of people, that's not really a lot of money. For startups, you guys know what startup means for a company? Yep. So basically, if a new company is coming out and they want to get money, they're going to put a what's called an IPO, initial public offering. That means they're going to offer their stock to the public for the first time. Now, for startups, it's great if you are a person that does a lot of research, like I said, and you have been watching this company and you're following the trends. A startup can be great because when it first comes out, the ones I've seen and played with, they go up quick. The thing about it is they may not stay up. A lot of people always say you buy the dip and sell the high. As what's called fear of missing out is a term that we use in the stock world. It's called FOMO, fear of missing out. What a lot of people do that's not very savvy in the stock world, they'll be looking at the stock market and they'll see it, start to go up. And what happens is when something starts to go up, what do people think? Oh, this is going to make me a lot of money. I need to get in now. So people buy it when it's high because of fear of missing out. It may go higher. But what happens? It hit a ceiling, then all of a sudden it starts going down. So you put your money in when it's high, when it started going down, that's how people lose money. So be very careful when you guys get into the investing world. Don't get the fear of missing out. Do your research. Now, low risk, great. Government bonds, like I said before, how our parents and aunts and uncles and grandparents should give us bonds because supposedly government bonds are safe. Now, if you guys been following anything with the government is not really the safest thing in the world, but it's safer than cryptocurrencies right now. High yield savings account. Typical savings accounts, less than 1%. So if you put $100 in their savings account, typically you'll get 1% back, if maybe, but a high yield account is usually that 5% or more. So high yield accounts are pretty good. And as Michael mentioned earlier, CDs. Okay, some of the benefits of high risk, like we said, Signet said before, you have a higher potential return. High risk, like I said, you're gambling high, so you're looking for that big return. The problem is, and like I said, it could go down also. Growth opportunities. And you can align with people, like I said, innovative. Elon Musk with Tesla. When Tesla first came out, that was a very high risk because the world had really never seen electric cars before. But with a lot of the environmentalists, they was like, oh, this is going to be the best thing ever. So everybody jumped on it real quick. But now, if you follow the electric car world, it's kind of fading out right now. It didn't take off the way everybody thought it would. Portfolios. You always want a mixture of high risk, medium risk, and low risk. And as you get older, the way that balances out, right now, you guys are young. You guys can afford to take more risk than a 70 or 80-year-old person because you have time to bounce back. Now, somebody that's in their, like say, 70s, at retirement age, they don't want to do a lot of high risk. They don't want to lose all their savings. Benefits of low risk capital preservation, like I said, saves your money. You kind of guarantee to get at least your initial investment back. Steady income if you're looking for, and this is a lot for, like I said, the retired people, 60, 70, 80 years old. If they're looking for that steady monthly check come in right now, they want a lot of low risk investments because they want to make sure that money is there. They still can get their medicines. They still can afford to pay for the nursing home if somebody's parents in a nursing home. And also the peace of mind. Investing is real stressful. When you put your money somewhere, and especially if you started seeing the market going down and you seeing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, just going away, it could be real stressful. If you do your research, you're going to see a lot of people committed suicide over stocks and over investments. A real quick story. I'm from a small town, as I said, from Virginia. We have a paper mill. The paper mill was open for 125 years, and one day it closed. They had people that had been working there for 40 and 50 years that were depending on that income to come in. But when they closed, they committed suicide because they thought there was no way to turn around from that. So investing can be real stressful, but if you have some low risk stocks, like I said, it keeps your peace of mind. All right, any questions so far? You guys tracking? Not going too fast? You good? All right. Short term versus long term. Now, here's a good one for you guys. Short term, 3 years or less. Long term, anything 3 years plus. What I can equate that with right now, most of you guys are probably in high school, right? So what you want to look at a short term investment is, okay, when you get out of high school, you might want to buy yourself a car. So if you're looking for a short term investment, like right now, if you guys are working or you get your Christmas money or you have parents that give you an allowance, you might want to invest that somewhere for short term. So when you get out of high school, you can buy yourself a car. Now, long term, if you're going to college, if you're going to military, if you're starting your own business, so 4 or 5 years, You can put it in something long term, maybe a little higher risk. So when you get out of college, when you move, you can buy yourself a house. We'll have a down payment for a house. That makes sense. That anybody got any idea what a short-term investment might be versus a long-term investment? What do you think that you can invest short-term or long-term? Do you think it'll be a stock, bond, or mutual fund? I see you thinking, Michael. Excel, you got anything? It's not gonna be a wrong answer.
I'm thinking.
Okay. Well, I'll look at it this way. For longer terms, I would say stocks. If you do your research on a company, what you want to look at, you want to look at who the CEO of the company is, what their financial strategy is, where they're investing their money. Now, if all those line up, then you know that that stock over the next 4 years is going to grow. A short-term investment might be that bond. Say you buy a bond for $1,000, and in 12 months to 24 months, it'll give you 2,000 back. So that will be a safer investment because you know it's backed by the government. It's almost guaranteed you're going to double that money in 12 to 24 months. Benefits of short-term liquidity, like I said, you get your money back quick. It's flexible. You can adapt to the market changes. So like I said, if you get a short-term stock and you're doing your research and you notice that, hey, the CEO for this company just decided to pivot and they want to go in a different direction, you can pull your money out. Now, a lot of stocks, they have what's called a seasoning period, that once you put your money in, you can't pull it out for 6 to 12 months. So you might want to stay away from those if you're trying to pull something out, let's say less than that 6 months. Maybe you're trying to save up for the prom or for something that you want to buy for yourself, during the summers. Short term, like I said, is low risk. Something you can get your money back quick that you're not guaranteed to lose it. Benefits of long term, compound growth. When it comes to interest and investing, there's a compound growth and there's a simple growth. Does anybody want to take a guess on what the difference is? Go ahead, Signa. You're thinking.
It's simple growth when it is like more straightforward, and compound growth's more exponential, so it will like double from the same amount, but like simple, it'll like do the same like 3% continuously, but like for compound growth, it'll be like 3, 6, 9. Like, of course, not that
Did
much,
you
but
did you study before you got on tonight? Did you study this course? Did you know it was coming? You're good at this. Yes, I would say that is 95% correct. Compound growth, say you put 100,000 into an account and in a month you get 120,000. What's going to happen is that 120,000 is going to grow now to 140. Now the 140 is what's going to grow, and it's going to keep going, just like you said, 3, 6, 9%. Basically, the percentage doesn't change, but the amount that's being invested changes. For simple, if you put 100,000 in, that 100,000 is going to grow on that 3% that you just mentioned. So if you put 100,000 in for compound, if you put 100,000 in, you get 120. Now the 120 is going to be invested, and that may, like I said, come up to 160. Now the 160 is going to be invested, and that may come up to 220. So compound mean whatever's in the account that gained interest is going to gain interest on that total amount. For simple, whatever amount you initially put in is going to be the only number that gets interest on top of it. That makes sense? Everybody kind of grab that? Cool. So compound is always better. If you're looking for investments, you're looking for growth, compound is always better. Tax advantages. Does anybody have a job? Any of you guys working right now? Michael's working. So you know about taxes. Have you been taxed yet? Okay. Another thing for long term, well, any investment, tax advantages. You always want to try to find something that has a tax advantage, something that you can write off. Do you guys know what a tax return is? Well, Michael, you since you're the only one working right now, I know you. Anybody heard of a tax return? You guys heard of before? Anybody know what a tax return truly is? Michael, you should know since you're working. You know what it is? What is it?
It's the money you get back from taxes. It's from the government at the end of the year.
All right. That is 50-50 true. It is money that you get back, but it's not from the government. That is your money. What it is, you're getting the money back. And this is kind of going into a 201 class, but a tax return is the money that the government is giving you back that you paid into your taxes. You overpaid your taxes, so the government is going to give it back to you in the form of a return. It's already your money, and you can study that later. Like I said, that's a whole nother higher level class. But taxes is a great thing to learn. Once you guys do start working, or you since you are working, to study like different taxes and how to not avoid paying taxes, but how to pay less and maybe get more back. And also the benefits for long term is reduced trading costs. Once you get into stock markets and you get a broker, I'm going to talk to you about in a second. Brokers are the people that basically do the trades for you. Now, say you want to start trading stocks, you'll go out and you'll find one like Vanguard, Fidelity, different banks. They are experts in trading, and every time that they make a trade for you, you have to pay a fee. So if you do 12 trades a year, that's 12 fees you have to pay. But if you're doing long-term investing, like you trade every 6 months, that's less fees you have to pay. All right. What time you got, Miss C? We're good for time, ma'am?
Yes, we're good.
Okay. All right. Now we're gonna get into my favorite topic. No, this is what I live for right now is real estate. All right. Real estate is a tangible asset. Anybody know what the word tangible asset means?
Like physical?
Yes. It is a actual asset that you can touch, you can feel, you can see. One thing I love about real estate is the income. Rental properties, fix and flips, we're going to talk about. Real estate has created more millionaires from the research that I've done than a lot of people in the stock market. Also, leverage. If you have properties, you can leverage those properties and borrow money from people because what they're going to do is they're going to put what's called a lien on your property until you pay them back. So, say, Michael, you have a house, you want to buy another house. You come to me, say, "Hey, Coach TJ, I want to buy a house. I have a current house that's valued at 100,000, but I want to borrow 50,000. So we're going to leverage that 50,000 that you have in your house that you can go out and buy another house." That makes sense. Everybody get that? Cool. So here's basically the basic types of real estate. Is basically two types: residential and commercial. Residential is single family homes, basically a single house, apartment, 1 to 4 units. It's called multi-units. One unit basically like a townhouse, but multi-unit, a duplex, triplex on a quad is like one building, but they have different houses in those buildings. So a 1 to 4 unit is still residential. 5 units plus, that's when you get to commercial. That's when you get to the big apartment buildings. 100 apartments, 200 apartment buildings. Also, like the stores you guys shop at, like Walmart, Target, those are commercial buildings. For those spaces, you get higher returns because you have longer leases, and it's more of a lucrative because you can charge higher prices because those corporations like Walmart, like Target, you know, um, grocery stores, they pay higher leases to the owners. So if you can get into commercial buildings, is a beautiful thing. And here's the different types of investments that we talk about for the real estate side. You have fix and flips, you have your wholesale, and you have the buy and holds. Fix and flip basically mean what it is. You buy it, you fix it up, and you flip it. Like the picture on top, the house is older and dirty. You clean it up, paint it, put a new door on it, and you'll sell it. For a wholesale deal, you basically become the middleman. You find someone that wants to sell a property. So what you do is you go talk to that person like, hey, you're interested in selling? They say yes. You say, okay, cool. You go out and you find a buyer. You connect that buyer to the seller, and you'll get a fee in the middle. Now, some people confuse wholesale with a real estate agent, but agents have to do a lot more work. They have to do the paperwork. They have to go show the house. Um, they have to write the contracts. For wholesalers, we don't do that. We just connect the buyer with the seller. We sign like one document to say, hey, once that buyer buys his house and they close on it, we'll get our fee. Buying holes, when you buy and you fix them up and you rent them out. Is anybody interested in real estate? I heard somebody was interested in real estate. That you, Michael? Cool. Potential returns in real estate. You have the rental income if you have rental properties. So if you rent a property out, you get that monthly income coming in. You have the appreciation factor of a house. If you buy it, it goes up in value every year. According to the government, sometimes they go down in value. And you have the tax benefits. Again, keyword tax benefits. You notice tax has been mentioned twice so far in his presentation. You get to deduct the mortgage. So when you have a loan from a bank that's called a mortgage, you have the property taxes that you pay to the whatever county that you're in, and the depreciation. There's a calculator for depreciations for properties that when you do your taxes, that the government give you X amount for depreciation every year. So it has a lot of upside. But of course, for everything that's good, there's always something bad. The risk in real estate, market fluctuations. You guys are young, you probably don't remember the crash in 2008, but Michael, if you do your research, you'll probably see it. One of my favorite movies, if you get time in your spare time, watch the movie called The Big Short. It's a very good movie about the crash that happened in the real estate market in 2008. What happened, the banks and mortgage companies got greedy. They started giving loans to anybody and everybody to buy a house. If you had a job and a heartbeat, they were giving you a loan to buy a house. Not to get the whole movie away, but a part of the movie, some investors went to this guy's house and he said, hey, can I speak to Julio? And the guy at the door said, why do you want my owner's dog? The guy had put a house in his dog's name. That's how bad it had gotten. But what happened, that bubble they called investing, you heard the word bubble. The bubble got so big with all these banks giving away all these loans and nothing to back them that it burst. And a house that you bought for $200,000 was probably worth $20,000. And a lot of people lost their houses. A lot of people walked away from houses. There was a lot of bankruptcies and foreclosures. But also you have the maintenance costs. You have to keep it up. You have to do renovations on the house. A pipe burst, ceiling fans break, you get a hole in the roof, storms, storm damage, somebody unexpected car run through your front door. I've seen that happen here in Florida, that a car literally ran through somebody's house. Also, the big thing for us that rent properties out, vacancies and evictions. During COVID in 2020, the government came up with a thing called a moratorium. Basically, what happened is during COVID, the government told people, hey, you don't have to pay your rent. So us as landlords that have loans on our properties, we still have to pay the banks every month for those loans. But the people that were living in our properties didn't have to pay their rent because the government said, hey, we have a pandemic going on right now. You don't have to pay. So a lot of people, again, lost properties because they couldn't afford to pay the mortgages on the house without money coming in. So those are just some of the things you have to look out for. Now, going to get into some real life examples of real estate. So to show you guys this is not just a presentation, I'm going to show you exactly how real estate works. These are 3 simple rules that as investors we use in real estate: the 1%, the 50%, and the 70% rule. Going to go over that here in a second. But me and Miss C attended this course up in Chicago called Make Real Estate Real with one of my mentors I'm going to introduce you to later. And this is a real life example of a property and how real estate can work. So the purchase price Basically, the price you can buy this property for is $125,000. The rehab cost, basically rehab means to fix it up. To paint the house, put new floors in, fix the bathrooms up, new sinks, new toilets, whatever it needs is 80,000. So all in, if you were to buy this house, you're going to pay $205,000, right? The ARV stands for after repair value. That is the price that a property is worth after you fix it up. So this property is worth $310,000 after it's fixed up. The investor only bought it for $200,000, so they had $105,000 in equity. You guys know what equity means? Okay, equity is the amount between how much a house is worth and how much you pay for it. So right here is worth the ARV, like I said, the after repair value is $310,000. The investor only paid $205,000, so it's $105,000 in equity in this house. Equity is a good thing. Equity is a great thing. If you get into real estate investing or any other investing, if you have equity, that is always a great thing to have. Now, this was a rental property. So the gross rents for this property is $3,200. That means that's how much this investor gets every month from the tenants. After you take away the expenses, like I said, the property taxes, the maintenance, your property management fee, you are netting $1,100 a month. That's how much you can walk away with that you put in your bank. You can go out to eat with, you can buy new shoes with. This is your money at the end of the month. So here's how the rules work in order to buy properties. The 1% rule is the gross monthly rent should be at least 1% of the purchase price. So everybody got a calculator? I know everybody got a phone. You guys got calculators? I want you to do the math to see if this works. So 1% of 125,000 is what?
I got 12,500.
Yep. 12,500? Nope. I'd hear that again.
I probably
Close.
added an extra zero. Sorry.
Yep. Anybody else get anything else? What you get, Mike?
1,250.
Exactly. Yes, Miss Catherine, you put an extra decimal. You didn't move the decimal point. Yes. So that's 1,250. So would this be a good buy? Because the gross income monthly is 3,200. You guys got 1,250. Would it meet the 1% rule? Because you want the gross income to be 1% or more of the purchase price. So would this be a good buy? I see one yes. Michael guessing. Come on, Catherine. Don't be scared. What you got? What do you think? So okay, let me help you out. Is 3,000 more than 1,200? So this would be a good buy because, like I said, the 1% rule, you want the gross monthly income to be at least 1% or more of the purchase price. So if you do the 1% rule, 1% of 125,000 is 1,250. So this meets the 1% rule. You see, I got that. Y'all tracking? All right. Next thing, the 50% rule is you want the expenses to be at least 50% of less of the gross monthly income. Now, this one is kind of close. So what is half of 3,200? What is 50% of 3,200?
1,600.
Yep. So you're at 1,600, but the expenses of 2,100, would that still be a good buy? If you're gonna go strictly by the 50% rule, no, because that's more than 50%. But if you look at the net income monthly, you're making 1,100, you can kind of bend that 50% rule for this. That makes sense. You see how we got that? Since you're still making basically $1,000 a month on this rental income, then the 50% rule can go to 60% in this case. All right. Now the 70% rule. As investors, we always try to buy properties at 70% of the ARV minus the rehab costs. All right, you tracking? What's that? Okay. For the 70% rule, for investors, we try to buy at 70% or less of the ARV minus the rehab costs. So the ARV is 310,000. What is 70% of 310,000? And how you can do that is you take 310,000 times 0.70. Miss C wants you guys to put the answers in the chat. I can't see the chat, so you're going to help me out, Miss C, because I can't see the chat. So 310,000 times 0.70. What numbers y'all come up with?
Catherine got 217,000 in chat.
What's my calculator? I haven't did it myself yet. Okay, is that right, Miss C?
Cigna got the same thing.
Yeah, so did I.
Okay, so it must be right then. Let me do my
Kendall
numbers.
also.
All right. Now subtract the rehab cost. Now you got to subtract 80,000. What do you get from the 200 from 217? What do you get? Okay. So would this meet the 70% rule? 70% of ARV minus the rehab is what you can buy it for. You guys got 137,000. This house was purchased at 125,000. So does that meet the 70% rule? Yep. Good job. Good job. So you guys are now real estate investors. Good job. You
Yep,
graduated.
they got that figure in the chat too. 137.
Good. Yep. So that's how investors we like to buy our properties. Like I said, we take 70% of the ARV minus the rehab costs and how much we want to pay for. Now we want to pay less. We want to go at least 60, 65%. But that's 70%. Now, if you can get a good property at a good area that you know is going to go up in value, then we may go up to that 75, 80%. It all depends. The goal in real estate investing is to buy properties that you can do a value add and make money off of. So here's what I want you to do now. This is my last math problem for the month. You're making $1,100 a month. That's the money that's in your pocket, in your hand. You do what you want to do with it. So take 1,100 times 10. What do you get? I mean, what do you guys come up with?
11,000.
Yep. So do you think you can live off $11,000 a month?
Yes.
So if you have 10 properties that's making $1,100 a month, that is $11,000 a month that's in your bank account without you having to work for it. That is real estate investing. Now, again, you have the hiccups now. You have the maintenance costs, you have the eviction rates, you have the tendencies. Now, that's going to fluctuate every month. That money is not guaranteed. God forbid we have another COVID happens and say you have those 10 properties and the government say people don't have to pay rent again. That's money you still have to pay. But that is the potential that real estate has right there. All right, now I'm gonna show you a real life example from me and Miss C. This is one of the properties that we've did ourselves. This is one of the fix and flips that we did. Here's the numbers for this one. I'm not gonna make y'all do calculators, but I want to walk you through the numbers. The purchase price, the price this house was being sold for was $198,000. The backstory real quick, this was a friend of mine that I was in the military with, a real good friend of mine. I had what's called a cold caller. I had somebody working for us that were making phone calls on a list that I had. Say, hey, I see you have a property. Would you like to sell it? Well, me and Miss C would go back and listen to the recordings and just make sure the caller is doing what they're supposed to do. And I heard his voice and it sounded real familiar. And I looked at the sheet and it was Donald Campbell, a friend of mine. So I called him up like, hey, what's going on? How you doing? And we had talked back and forth on Facebook. He lives in Tampa. I live in Fort Walton, so we're about 6 hours away. When he come up here, we play golf and stuff. But I never knew he had a house in foreclosure. So I hit him up like, hey, I buy properties in real estate. What's going on? Well, he had rented the property out to a young guy, his girlfriend, renter issues. They had issues. They broke up. They couldn't pay the rent anymore. So he was paying $1,100 a month out of pocket himself, and he was living somewhere else. So I said, hey, you know what I can do? I can take over your payments for you. I will fix the house up, then I can sell it and I will pay the house off for you. That's called a creative financing deal. That's what me and my business partner, that's my expertise in right now that we try to get without going to get loans. So what I did is for 3 months, I paid his $1,100 a month in rent. So that's 3,300. The rehab cost for this house to fix it up, I'm going to show you the pictures of what it looked like, was 15,000. Plus they needed a new roof, which was 10,000. Well, I found a roofing company that said, hey, you can pay me after you sell the house, which is a great thing. If you can find people to do the work and you don't have to pay them to after you sell, that is a great thing to have. If you ever get into real estate, Michael, since I know you're in real estate, if you get contractors that want you to pay them up front, don't do it. If people want money up front, to me, there are some, not everybody, but most contractors want money up front. They're not going to do a good job and they're going to half do it and you're still going to pay them. There's so many stories we've seen that people pay contractors 20, 30,000, never see them again. Well, we had a guy that said, hey, matter of fact, my contractor, the 15,000 that we had to pay, I only paid my contractor half of this just for materials and the labor after we sold the house. So all in for my total investment for rehab was 28,800. We ended up fixing the house up. We sold it for 284,000. So once you take out the 198, they had to pay off his loan. We took out the 28,000 for the rehab. The 1,500 you have to pay in closing costs. Anytime you sell or buy a house, there's closing costs involved. We made 55,000 off this one house in 3 months. Anybody track the numbers on that? See how the circle works? We buy it, rehab it, sell it, start all over. Now, I want to show you what this house looked like and what it ended up with. So let me stop sharing screen. Get out of the presentation. Share screen again. All right. Can y'all see the screen again? You see the house?
Yes, we can see the screen.
I'm opening up a jar for your daughter. All right, here's the house when we first got it. So we're going to show you the pictures real quick. This the outside of it, what it looked like. Walking through the front door. This is the backyard of the house. These are the before pictures. This is the backyard, how the people that was rented, how they left it. Now, this was a shed that was in the backyard. This is the living room. See the carpet, how dirty it is. This is one of the bedrooms. Look at there was a Signa face. Look at her face. Yes, this is a good property actually. This is one of the bedrooms. This is the HVAC system inside. This is the living room. This was the kitchen. Another picture of the kitchen. Kitchen. This is what the garage looked like. This is one of the bedrooms. This is the carpet. That's the kitchen. Oh, one of the things I want to point out real quick in the kitchen, like see the chandelier, no bulbs. So what we have to do, the first thing we do when we get a property, we go in and we clean it out. We basically take all the junk, all the trash out. No, we try to start with we call them a blank canvas to see what we have to do to the house. We took all the carpet up, so this is what the floor looked like under the floor. Clean the kitchen out. Now we get into the after pictures. This is what it looked like after we rehabbed it. It's the first picture. Basically, what we did with the grass, we just watered it. We went out and sprayed fertilizer and grass seeds, and we just watered the grass, and it actually came back. And I was happy because I had to sod it. This is the backyard. Remember what the backyard looked like with the shed and all the trash in the backyard? Now we're going to the inside. This is what it looks like now. We went in and put new floors in, new ceiling fans. We washed the walls and touched up some of the paint on the walls. This was the living room, fireplace. Now this is the new kitchen. Notice when I pointed out earlier, no bulbs. We had to go out and buy the little bulb things to go over the little chandelier. This is the kitchen cleaned up. The little the little eraser things we do when you clean kitchens and stuff now, we took those and we just cleaned the cabinets with those, and they actually came out bright. We did the stainless cleaner on the refrigerator, cleaned the stove. Uh, Unfortunately, I didn't get pictures of the garage, I don't think, for this one. Cleaned the bathroom up. No, everywhere. See all the lights? We had to actually go in and put all new bulbs everywhere. When you're selling the house, you want all the bulbs to be showing. So that was one of the properties that Miss C and I did. Should there go back, share this again. Mm, So that was real estate. Any questions, concerns, thoughts on real estate real quick? Now, this wasn't in the objectives, but I wanted to share this with you guys because this is another business that I do. I do life insurance, and the reason behind it, I'm going to tell you a story about my grandfather later. Okay. Well, Miss C just came in and said, before we get to life insurance, she would like to let you guys take a 5-minute break. So it is what, 7:30 you guys time? So come back, what, 7:35, Miss C? What time?
Say again, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
What time you want to come back for break, ma'am?
Probably about 5 minutes. So
So
about
7:35, 7:36.
yes, 7:36 is fine.
All right, take a break. See you guys at 7:36. Wake up, everybody. All right, all right, all right. We're back, we're back, we're back. So, how y'all feeling? All right. What I like to tell people, if you feel that information was useful, was powerful, that you feel like you can go out and invest now, put a 100 in the chat. Cool, cool, cool. Good job, good job. Uh-oh, I don't see but 200s. That means somebody don't feel like they can invest. Excel don't feel like, oh, that is Excel. My bad. Who didn't give me 100? I'm gonna call them out now. Uh-oh. Thank Catherine. Okay, how do you say this name? Is it Signa?
Yeah,
You don't feel you can invest right now?
I don't know. Like, I'm too young for those guys. I'm 15. I don't even know.
Oh no, no, no. You're never too young. You know what? I like to get project kids when I like somebody I can put under my wing and invest with. Me and you gonna talk. You're never too young to invest. Here, okay, what do you want to do once you graduate high school?
I want to be a doctor.
Okay, what kind of doctor do you want to be?
I have no idea yet.
Okay. Never say you're too young to invest. I wish somebody had told me about this information that I'm giving you right now when I was 15. Because you know why? At 25, I'd have been retired, living on the beach somewhere, drinking pina coladas. You're never too young to invest. You have the information. Now you just have to find the funds to do it. And think about this now. You want to be a doctor. How many more years of school is that?
We don't talk about that part. I want to be a doctor.
Oh,
I just don't want the education part of it. That's very
oh,
long.
that's like saying you,
11 years.
oh my. So do you plan on getting scholarships? How do you plan on paying for college?
Yeah, probably scholarships.
Okay.
And like I'm probably gonna work at that point, so that might help.
Gotcha.
Stuff like that.
So who else is planning on going to college once they graduate high school? Catherine, Kendall. All right. What do you want to go to college for, Catherine? Is it Catherine or Catherine? What am I saying that right?
It's Catherine. You got it right.
Okay.
You mean like what I want to study?
Yes. What do you want to study?
I want to study in general medicine.
Okay. Excel, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Neurosurgeon.
Oh my, that's a big one. Well, good, congratulations on that one. Michael, what do you plan on going to college for?
I was going for business administration.
Okay, cool. Hey, I like you. That's what I got my degree in. That's what I'm talking about. You guys are never too young to invest. 'Kay, here's what I want, and here's what I've seen. What I tell the younger people that I speak with right now is you're gonna get older every year, and eventually you're gonna be my age. One of my mentors, I'm going to show you this slide later on, Inky Johnson says, learn from the mistakes of others because you can't make them all yourself. Meaning the things that people that's older than you tell you, listen to it and learn from it. Because we've been where you guys are trying to go. Me and Miss C, and Miss Rosie, Miss Tiana, the other coaches, we've been in high school. Some of us have been to college. We've been in the workforce. So we've seen a lot. And I've met the other coaches in S.O.A.R. They all have you guys' best interests at heart. So when we tell you something, we're telling you for the benefit that you don't go out and make a mistake. That makes sense? One thing I'm going to tell you, college is not free unless you can get a full ride scholarship. So the worst thing that could happen, and a lot of people, I bump heads with a lot of people about this. My daughter went to college. I'm still paying off a $30,000 student loan from my daughter that's not using her degree. And I want to choke her every time I see her with love, though. I want to choke her with love. If you're going to go to college, make sure you make it worth it because you're going to see this a lot. A lot of people come out of college in debt. Debt is how the world keeps you behind. Doctor, the engineers, the neurosurgeons, those are big degrees you guys are going for. And I'm going to support you every step of the way that I can. But I'm going to tell you now, if you go to those colleges and you get those degrees and you come out with all that debt, it's going to be a real stress on your shoulders because now you have to go out and find a job to try to pay off that debt. At the same time, you're going to have to find a house, a car. No, you have to have basically your living standards. So it's never too young to start investing because you're 15 now, you're going to be 20, you're going to be 25, you're going to be 30. If you start investing now, that's going to benefit you later on down the road. That makes sense? So never say you're too young to invest. Cool, cool. So let's finish this up so I can let you all get on with the rest of your night. Another one of my passions is life insurance. Does anybody know anything about life insurance at all? What do you think you know about life insurance? Go ahead, Miss Catherine. I see you
Oh,
thinking.
okay. Okay. Um, I I know that life insurance can be paid monthly, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
What do you think it's used
and
for?
I think it can cover your medical bills or unexpected occurrences such as like a car accident, a parent loses their job, something like that,
Yep, there
I
is
would
one
think.
for that. Exactly. Miss Excel.
I think life insurance is like a money that they take out of like your payment, like your check for like in case the person that's paying for it dies, or in case a family member's died.
Yep, that is the traditional one. Miss Aurora, how are you doing? What do you think? You got to answer to that
Uh,
one?
well, not so much so, but I was gonna say that was I feel like her answer was pretty good. I don't want to like make mine wrong, but
Yeah.
like a I don't want to say backup plan, but like if like in case like kind of like a like in case something happens
Mm-hmm.
and like I'm not sure if this is the same thing, but I see a lot of people like put other people on the same one. I hope I don't sound like
I know exactly what you're saying, and you all are right. All three of those answers are correct, and here's why. Traditional life insurance, I call it the old school life insurance. Basically, somebody have life insurance, they pass away, it takes care of the bills, the service, and if they have bills left over. Also, now you can use it in many different ways. We have life insurance policy. This is another reason why I love it. I am a life insurance agent. You can use two different ones. It's three different life insurances: index universal life, which we call IULs, whole life, and there's term life. IULs and whole life you can actually use to borrow money to invest with. This is a new strategy that's been being used for years that is finally coming back around, people paying more attention to it. Like with anything else, you have benefits for it. Universal and whole life are permanent. Once you have the policies, they are permanent policies until the person that has them passes away. Term life is a specific time frame. So you can get a term life policy for 5, 10, 15 years. Universal, you have flexible cash values, meaning you can set the value, how much you pay every month, how much it pays out. For whole life is a fixed cash value. So if you pay, $200 a month, you're going to pay $200 a month for that policy. Universal grows with the market. You guys just learned about stocks and bonds and different things like that. Universal grows with the market. They both have, well, all three have death benefits, meaning when the person that's insured passes away, the insurance policy pays out. Like I said, the difference in universal, whole, and term has a specific time frame. Once that time frame is gone or expired, then that policy goes away. But universal and whole life, you can actually borrow against to do investments. Universal life, my business partner, he actually used his policy. 4 months after he had his policy, he was in a car accident. Like Miss Catherine said, that policy paid out. He broke his femur. He was in a coma. He was in the hospital for like 6 months. That insurance policy he had covered his job income. Here's how it worked. You have car insurance, that if you get into a car accident, the car insurance pays for your car. You have medical insurance, that if you get into an accident, your medical insurance pays for your medical bills. But a lot of people don't realize if you get into a car accident or trip and fall, something has to supplement your income from work. Something still has to pay the bills. That's where a good life insurance policy comes in at. Make sense? The reason I have this GoFundMe in red, because I've seen a lot of people, even my family members, somebody passed away and they didn't have life insurance, and now the family has to struggle and scrape money together just to have a funeral service. It actually happened in my family. My grandmother passed. My grandmother died November 11, 1991. I'll never forget the day I got the phone call just getting home. I was in high school, just got back from school. My aunt called me up, said, "Hey, your grandmother just passed away." Well, like I said, I come from a blue collar, 9 to 5 family. So we started to get the money together to have my grandmother's funeral service. A lot of my aunts and uncles didn't have it, and it caused a big rift in my family. So when I try to tell now, I try to get people to get insurance policies to cover their family so that doesn't happen. Now, this is a great book. If you guys like to read, which I encourage you to do, What Would the Rockefellers Do? Has anybody ever heard the name Rockefellers? Anybody heard that name before? Please, please, please go get this
yeah,
book. Please
yeah, I
go
have.
get this book. You do good. Good job.
Also,
Actually,
I had a
mhm,
sorry, I
you're
had a
good.
question. Is like health insurance like directly tied to life insurance or like
No, ma'am. Health
okay.
insurance is basically, like I said, you can get from your jobs. Like I said, if you have to go to the doctor for anything, your health insurance covers your doctor's visits. Life insurance covers other things. That makes sense. But I highly suggest you guys get. I highly suggest you guys read. I'm going to give you some books at the end of this presentation that I want everybody to go out and get and start reading. Now, that's why I asked you guys before. Miss Signa says she's too young to invest. You're never too young to invest. Building your investment strategy. These are the things you need right here to build your investment strategy. Define your goals. You guys' goals, you guys want to go to college. I'm sure you guys want to have nice houses and nice cars. Okay, let me ask the question. Does anybody don't want to have a nice house or a nice car? So that's one of your goals right there. You want a nice house and a nice car. What's your risk tolerance? As I mentioned earlier, you guys are young, so you have a higher risk tolerance. You can take more chances than somebody that's 70 or 80 years old. Notice I said research a lot during the presentation. You want to research. Keyword, seek professional advice. Learn from the mistakes of others because you can't make them all yourself. Go out and find the professionals that's doing the investments, that knows the market. Now, here's my book list. I want you guys to take a good look at this. These are some great books to start. If you want to learn how to invest, learn strategies, learn concepts, these are some great books to start. I've read all of these books at least once. Now I'm circling back around. If you notice, if you see in my background, if you see all these right here, this is just like a few of the books. Well, matter of fact, let me see if I can show you the rest. See all these right here? Those are all books. Those are books that Miss C makes me read. But the cheat code is get an Audible account or Kindle, and they can read to you. So when I'm riding to work, when I'm riding to a property, when I'm riding anywhere, I like to listen to books. You guys got all those? Okay, go ahead. Take your time. I highly, highly, highly suggest you all read these books. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Good. All right. Next thing I'd suggest you guys get is a mentor. Anybody listen to podcasts on YouTube or anybody listen to podcasts anywhere? So good. Miss Catherine listens to podcasts. Here's 5 of my mentors. The reason you want to have a mentor is all of these things in this box: help, training, leadership, skills, method, directions, motivate, coach, success. I listen to all these guys daily. AO, Anthony O'Neill, I just started listening to recently, but I've actually met Jamal King. The reason I really got into real estate besides Miss C, me and Miss C went to a seminar with Jamal King. They call him the 9 to 5 millionaire. He was a Chicago police officer for 20 years. He went to college to play football. He ended up getting hurt and he couldn't go to the NFL, but he still had friends that was in the NFL he would go visit. He wanted the lifestyle of an NFL player, but he couldn't play. So what could he do? He went and started doing real estate. Reason why I call him a 9 to 5 millionaire is because he didn't quit his job as a police officer. He became a millionaire while being a police officer by doing real estate. Inky Johnson, see his arm right here? He got into a accident playing football and his right arm got paralyzed. He was projected to be one of the top 5 picks in the NFL. And he got hurt his senior year in like his 3rd game. Now he's a motivational speaker. Eric Thomas. If you guys know, follow Ms. Rosie, we probably heard this name before. They call him E.T. the hip hop preacher. He was homeless, a high school dropout. Now he's the #1 motivational speaker in the world. He has a PhD. Anything is possible. Anthony O'Neill. And what I said earlier when I told you guys my favorite Bible verse, and like I said, I'm not pushing the Bible on you guys, but all of these guys, what they mentor, the principles of the Bible, what they basically live off of. This is how they became successful. So I would suggest you guys find these guys on YouTube and Instagram and just listen to a couple of their podcasts and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. No, they're very encouraging. They're inspiring. They basically give you the blueprints of how to be successful in any industry you decide to do. It's not just real estate. No, you can, the doctors, engineer, whatever you guys decide to do, you can be successful in it. Now, The biggest thing I always ask people, what is your why? When I ask you, Miss Signa, like what kind of doctor you want to be, it's like, okay, why do you want to be a doctor? What is your why? There's 3 times in your life, or 3, what can I call them? Phases in your life. These are my whys right now. This is why I want to do real estate, why I'm becoming a millionaire, why I get up every morning and do what I do. This is my grandfather. He was 93 years old when he passed away. My grandfather could not read or write. But what he did is he paid for his own funeral of $15,000, and he had enough money left over that he gave me and 4 of my cousins and 2 uncles, 2 aunts $100 apiece. He cannot read or write. And that's why I love this shirt. Success is in my DNA, because I can't fail. If a man at 93 can pay for a funeral of $15,000 and couldn't read or write, what is my excuse not to be successful? The present, build with who you are with. You have to find people to put in your circle that want to go the same way you want to go. If you're a kind of person that don't like details, that is me. Miss C loves details. Find somebody to complement the things you don't like to do. In the future, this is my first grandson, Royce. He'll be 2 years old this year. My goal is to leave a legacy for him not to be able to struggle. So when he want to go to summer camps, they're going to be paid for. When he graduates high school, he's going to have a car. His college fund is already going to be paid for. We're going to buy his first house. That is the reason why you want to be successful. You honor the ones that came behind you and leave a legacy for the ones that's coming after you. That makes sense? And last but not least, thank you all for letting me be here tonight. You know, with me and Miss Rosie, these are our core values from the Air Force. Integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. That is the core values we live by. And this right here is one of my favorite quotes from Eric Thomas, I just showed you. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And to give you guys a real quick story, then we're going to close out. He tells a story about a guy that wanted to be successful, right? So the guy went to a guru. He went to a mentor. He said, hey, I want to be successful. That guru told him, say, hey, meet me at the beach at 3 o'clock. The guy shows up, you know, he got on a suit and tie, and he's like, wow, I wanted to learn how to be successful. I didn't want to learn how to go swim. So the guru was like, come on, walk out in the water. No, he walked out to the water. He was like knee high. The guru said, hey, you want to be successful? He's like, yes, keep walking. He walked out to the water. The water was waist deep. And he's like, okay, look, what am I doing? I'm standing in the water. He's like, keep walking. The guru took his head and put it under the water. He was holding the guy underwater. He lifted the guy up. What do you think that guy said he wanted to do? Go ahead, Signa, you can do. Excel, what do you think he wanted to do?
Be successful.
But so if I pull your head from under the water, I'm asking you, what do you want to do right now?
Get out
Leave the water.
You want to breathe because I got you underwater. So the thing about it is, if you're being held underwater and somebody lifts you up, you want to breathe, right? When you want to be successful, as bad as you want to breathe and not drown, then you'll be successful. That makes sense? Cool, cool. All right, so we're going to close out. Anybody got any last parting questions, concerns, thoughts, advice? Anybody got anything? Michael? Closing words? He's thinking.
Where should we start at 18? Like right when we hit 18.
You got a job, right?
Yeah.
All right. Miss C you going to tell them about the cost to be you thing?
Oh, well, there's some resources in the Google Classroom, the cost to be used, like a budget, what you actually are doing right now with yourself. It will do your income and your expenses, what you would do, you write it out, and you can use it multiple times. There's actually vocabulary words in there for you. And there's actually some like summarizations of Rich Dad Poor Dad in there for the books that you're going to read. And even just getting started doing that actually and asking questions and interacting well. But the time to start would be now, as Coach TJ said, with a great presentation. You're never too young to start, depending what you want to do and where you want to go.
What I would suggest, Michael, is start a budget. You need to know exactly where your money is going. If you can see it, you can believe it. And so what you would do is get a budget. You start with exactly how much you make, and for a whole month, track all of your spending. So every time you swipe your card, what are you swiping it for? Where is money going? See how much money you have left over every month. Then take part of that money and start some investing. Get a financial advisor. Say, hey, I want to start investing in the next, 5 to 10 years. I want to have X amount of dollars. Where can I put this money at? Make sense? Miss Signa, last words, thoughts, concerns, comments?
No, thank
Ex-
you for the
Miss
class.
Excel,
Also, you keep saying my name wrong.
how do I say it? Miss C told me how to say it. I'm not, hey, I'm from country. I'll say your name wrong in a minute. How you say it?
Snigda. You say
Signa. Well, I'm gonna tell you now, we're gonna have a long time to learn that. Look, next time we talk, I'll have it right.
okay.
Miss Excel,
No words. It was a
no
good
words.
class.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Aurora.
Yeah, it was good. I definitely took a lot of notes that were like
Cool. Kendall.
beneficial, I guess,
Oh,
on like stuff that I didn't know. The way you explained it made it simpler, I guess. Yeah.
oh, okay. She had a delay. I'm sorry. Kendall, is Kendall still here?
Oh no, yeah, sorry. It's taking me a minute to unmute. But no, yeah, same as her. It was very like very good to understand. I definitely took a lot of notes on it and it was interesting.
Cool. Well, if you guys enjoyed what you heard, let Miss Rosie know. I will come back and do a class on anything investing, budgeting, financial that you guys want and need. So if you guys want another class, I know I'm probably stepping on toes right now, but that's what I do. So tell Miss Rosie and the other S.O.A.R counterparts, like, hey, you want Coach TJ to come back and talk about anything investing, anything financial. We'll sit down one-on-one. If you want my number, you can get it from Miss C. If you guys want to call me and talk one-on-one, if you want to see a real estate deal, you want to walk through a real estate deal, you want to walk through anything investing, I will be more than happy to take the time out to work with you guys. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. You have been a great crowd. I hope I see you all again. Thanks, Miss C, for helping coordinate and setting everything up. So I will turn it back over to you.
You are welcome. And I did drop the survey link in the chat. So you are free to complete the survey. When you're done, put a D in the chat, and then you guys are free to leave.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You're
Have a
welcome.
good night.
Have a good evening, Snigda.
Snigda.
Yeah.
See, I got it. Good.
Don't blame me. Blame me too.
Mhm.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. I really
Hey,
enjoyed the
y'all.
class. Good night.
You're
Good
welcome.
night.
You can get in touch with me if you want, Michael. Talk more about real estate.
All right, yeah, because everything sounded like really good. You explained it really well.
Cool. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, wingman.
What's up? What up?
I was cheating. I was in